You've probably heard the old saying, let the expert do the job. But what happens when a billionaire genius known for rockets and crypto steps into government policy? Today, we're diving into why Elon Musk, yes, the SpaceX and Tesla guy, just quit his role as a special government employee. And honestly, maybe it wasn't his field to begin with. Before we get into it, if you care about Social Security, Medicare, or how tech giants are influencing government policy, hit that like button, subscribe, and let's talk about what really happened behind the scenes. Elon Musk is brilliant, no doubt. He revolutionized the electric vehicle industry, shot rockets into space, and even shook up the financial world with cryptocurrency. But does that mean he can fix government bureaucracy or redesign public welfare systems? Not necessarily. Just because someone succeeds in one area doesn't mean they're equipped for every battlefield. And when it comes to the complex, slow-moving machinery of Social Security and federal agencies, this might have been one arena even Musk couldn't dominate. The story really took off with this year's election campaign when Elon Musk stepped into the spotlight, not just as a billionaire businessman, but as an open supporter of his longtime ally, Donald Trump. But this wasn't the usual endorsement tweet or photo op handshake. Musk came forward with a strategic role, attempting to shape Trump's campaign from a policy standpoint, especially when it came to technology, innovation, and government efficiency. He wasn't just backing Trump with words, he was stepping into the machinery of government itself, hinting at a bolder, more hands-on influence in reshaping America's institutions. But that move raised eyebrows. While Trump welcomed Musk's support with open arms, critics and policy experts began asking, is this about helping the country or just consolidating tech power within political circles? Elon Musk's entrance into the campaign as a special government employee blurred the lines between political ambition and personal legacy. Was he aiming to reform government programs like Social Security or simply putting on a show of dominance in yet another arena? As we'll see, that choice may have led him exactly where he didn't want to go, out the door. When the election results were finally announced, Donald Trump emerged victorious, sending a shockwave through political circles across the nation. But this time, his win wasn't just credited to traditional campaigning or party loyalty. It was also powered by a wave of digital influence, technological messaging, and the strong backing of high-profile figures like Elon Musk. Musk had become a crucial part of the campaign strategy, helping amplify key messages across social platforms and rallying support among younger, tech-savvy voters. His voice, his platforms, and his brand helped bridge a gap that traditional politicians couldn't cross. Musk's role in Trump's victory was significant, not just as a supporter, but as a symbol of disruption. By aligning himself with Trump, he sent a message. The old systems were broken, and it was time for outsiders, tech innovators, entrepreneurs, and rule breakers to take the lead. From carefully timed X, formerly Twitter, posts to subtle jabs at government inefficiency, Musk helped build a narrative that Washington needed reform, and Trump was the one to deliver it. But behind that success was a storm quietly brewing, one that Musk may not have fully anticipated. But then came the twist. Not long after settling into victory, President Trump began to sense that something wasn't right. Despite Elon Musk's aggressive push to modernize government operations and streamline departments, things weren't moving as expected. Behind the scenes, delays, data leaks, and administrative confusion began to surface, especially in critical programs like Social Security, Medicare, and VA benefits. Trump, a man known for trusting his instincts, started feeling that the system wasn't just inefficient, it was resisting change. And the big question was Musk's tech-driven approach helping or hurting? Trump quietly began auditing internal operations, forming private task forces, and even demanding weekly updates from the SSA and other federal agencies. It became increasingly clear that Elon Musk's proposed reforms, from AI in government forms to automated benefit reviews, weren't producing the results promised during the campaign. In fact, in some cases, these changes made things worse for the very seniors Trump had. As confusion grew, so did tension between Trump and Musk. The president started asking tough questions, and that's when the cracks in their partnership began to show. Determined to take control of the chaos, President Trump made a bold decision. If the old government machinery was too slow and corrupt to fix, it was time to build something new from scratch. In a dramatic move, he announced the creation of a new federal agency called DOGE, short for the Department of Government Efficiency. The mission? To cut red tape, eliminate waste, and drag outdated systems like Social Security and Medicare into the 21st century. And for such a futuristic mission, Trump turned to none other than Elon Musk, the man who built rockets, rewired the auto industry, and took on Silicon Valley. Elon Musk was handed the keys and became the special government employee in charge of DOGE, overseeing everything from digitized benefits processing to AI-driven fraud detection. It was a revolutionary idea, putting a tech visionary in charge of fixing government bureaucracy. Trump called it the beginning of a new era. Musk stepped up, announcing sweeping reforms and laying out an aggressive timeline to rebuild entire departments from the ground up. But while the public cheered the headlines, behind the scenes, cracks were forming, because not everyone was ready for Musk's radical style. If we narrow the focus to just Social Security, Elon Musk quickly identified one of the most glaring inefficiencies in the system, something that left even seasoned politicians stunned. Musk's data audit revealed that millions of dollars were being paid out each year to deceased individuals. That's right, Social Security was continuing to send checks to people who had been dead for months, sometimes even years. It wasn't just a one-time glitch or a bureaucratic delay. It was a deep systemic flaw rooted in outdated databases, a lack of cross-agency communication, and minimal fraud detection protocols. Musk, known for his obsession with clean data and automation, saw this as unacceptable and dangerous. The controversy exploded when Musk stood beside President Trump at a nationally televised press conference, laying out the issue in his usual blunt, unapologetic tone. With charts, reports, and real-time figures on screen, he exposed the stunning amount of waste inside the Social Security Administration. This isn't just about bad bookkeeping, Musk said. This is taxpayer money being funneled into the void. Trump followed up immediately, reinforcing Musk's message with strong words of his own. We promise the American people a government that works, and we meant it. This nonsense stops now. That press conference made headlines across the country and sent shockwaves through Washington. For many Americans watching at home, especially seniors struggling to make ends meet, the news was both infuriating and validating. How could a system so critical to the lives of millions be so broken? Musk's revelation put massive pressure on Social Security officials and drew a line in the sand. Things had to change. The press conference wasn't just a publicity stunt. It marked a moment of reckoning. But as Musk dove deeper into reforms, what he didn't realize was that challenging a decades-old system meant battling invisible enemies within the government. And this was only the beginning of a much bigger war. As Elon Musk's DOGE agency began implementing rapid-fire reforms inside the Social Security Administration, one move sparked immediate public backlash: mass layoffs. In an effort to automate inefficiency, thousands of long-serving SSA employees, many with decades of experience, were abruptly let go. The justification? Musk believed AI, machine learning, and centralized data systems could do their jobs faster, cheaper, and with fewer errors. From a tech standpoint, it sounded like progress. But for the American public, especially retirees who depended on SSA agents for help navigating benefits, it became a nightmare. The impact was immediate and widespread. Hold times on SSA's phone lines skyrocketed. Local offices, once staffed with knowledgeable caseworkers, were left nearly empty. Seniors trying to appeal benefits, report changes, or get basic questions answered were met with endless automated menus and chatbot replies that couldn't grasp the nuance of their problems. For many, the Social Security experience shifted overnight from human support to cold, impersonal bureaucracy. Frustration boiled over online and in town hall meetings across the country. It wasn't just a technical shift, it was a human crisis. Critics accused Musk of treating the government like one of his tech companies, trimming the fat, sure, but also cutting vital support systems in the name of speed and efficiency. Even Trump's staunchest supporters began voicing concern. Was this what reform was supposed to look like? Meanwhile, inside the administration, rumors began to circulate that the layoffs had gone too far, too fast. Musk's vision of a leaner, smarter government was starting to backfire in one of the most sensitive places possible: the wallets and well-being of America's most vulnerable citizens. One thing became crystal clear: Social Security had never seen this much chaos, controversy, and public backlash in a single year, let alone a few months, than it did under Elon Musk's leadership. For an institution that has been around since 1935, the Social Security Administration, SSA, has always operated slowly, quietly, and without much disruption. Sure, there have been funding concerns, political debates, and occasional payment errors, but never had the program been dragged into the national spotlight with such explosive intensity. In just a matter of months, Elon Musk turned what was once a silent system into a front-page storm. Under his reforms, Musk had promised transparency, efficiency, and modernization. What followed instead were headlines about fraud, payments to deceased people, mass layoffs, AI failures, crashing SSA websites, and a sudden coldness in the system meant to serve retirees and disabled citizens. Public confidence in the agency, already shaken by years of budget cuts and political stalling, began to nosedive. Senior citizens began showing up at closed SSA offices. Disabled individuals reported losing benefits due to AI-driven denials with no human appeal. Musk was supposed to fix the government, but to many Americans, it looked like he'd just broken it faster than anyone before him. Even longtime critics of the SSA admitted they'd never seen this level of dysfunction. The public conversation had shifted from how to strengthen Social Security for the future to whether it would even survive this present storm. Congressional hearings were called. Whistleblowers came forward. Protests broke out at local SSA offices. What was meant to be a quiet back-end modernization had turned into the most controversial period in the program's modern history. For Musk, it wasn't just about innovation anymore, it was about survival. And as pressure mounted, even his strongest allies began to distance themselves from the man who promised too much too fast. And just like that, a new chapter begins. Elon Musk, once hailed as the visionary disruptor of outdated government systems, has officially stepped down from his position as a special government employee. His departure, though not entirely unexpected, has left behind a trail of divided opinions, unfinished reforms, and millions of Social Security recipients wondering, was this whirlwind of change worth it? After months of controversy, public pressure, and policy backfires, Musk quietly exited the scene, handing the reins back to the very system he once promised to rebuild from the ground up. Now, the real question looms, was his exit a good thing for Social Security or a missed opportunity? Some believe his bold reforms, if given time, could have modernized the system and saved billions in wasted funds. Others argue that his tech-first, people-last approach did more harm than good, disrupting lives and undermining trust in one of America's most sacred institutions. Whatever the truth may be, only time will tell. The coming months will reveal whether Musk's footprint leads to long-term improvement or leaves a scar that will take years to heal. What do you think? Was Elon Musk's time in government a necessary shock to the system, or was it a reckless experiment that put millions at risk? Let us know in the comments section below. Your voice matters more than ever. And if you found this story important, eye-opening, or thought-provoking, please consider subscribing to our channel. We're here to bring you the truth about Social Security, government reforms, and the issues that impact everyday Americans. Don't miss what's coming next.